Who said that Buicks are for grandparents? I've spent the past 10 days driving the 2012 Buick Regal GS, which is a 6-speed manual sedan. It's got 270 horsepower and can go from 0 to 60 in about 6.7 seconds, and I've really tried to do that. But this is definitely not the Buick that you thought of a few years ago. It's a lot of fun. Seats 5, and I'm going to show you a few of the features that I really like about it. You can see the styling is sleek, it's modern. It was definitely a fun car to drive. Had some good acceleration. One thing to remember, it is actually a turbo, and it's only a 4-cylinder, so you're still getting pretty good gas mileage. I was averaging about 21 to 22, and that's city and highway. And like I said, this is the sport version, so it's got big wheels, low profile, and the front brakes are Brembo brakes. You can see them in the front there. So let's take a look at some of the features inside. But before I show the interior, I figured I'd show the Buick Turbo in here. This car is peppy. When you step on the accelerator, you can definitely feel the turbo kick in, and you accelerate quite quickly. I shifted out of first, probably in by the time I was hitting like 15 miles an hour, if not lower. So you definitely go through the gears pretty quickly. Only a few times did I actually go into 6th, and you get a pretty good gas mileage when you do that, and it's only when you're on the freeway, obviously. One feature that I absolutely loved was having the key fob in my pocket. I don't have to like do anything. I can just pull on it and it unlocks, and then when I want to close it, I can just close it. As long as it's in my pocket, I just push this and it locks right down. So very handy to have. So inside you can see it's a very elegant looking, sort of modern looking interior. There's the 6-speed manual, and I'll show you some of that stuff. There is a touch screen, haven't turned it on yet, and a variety of other things. You can see it seats 3 pretty comfortably in the back. I had it with my kids, and they didn't have any problems in the back. Lots of room, and definitely a very comfortable car. So it had been about 15 years since I used this pedal right here. Yeah, that's the clutch. So I had to relearn or re-remember how to drive stick, and let me tell you, I had a lot of fun doing it. So it is a push button start, but since it is also a manual, not an automatic, there are a few things you can do before you can turn it on. So I tried pushing it now. It's going to tell me to press the clutch to start the engine. So the controls for everything are actually found in a variety of places. You have the touch screen, which you can interact with. You have a selector here, which dials you through a variety of options. And the thing that it took me a little while to figure out is you actually push this silver button in to make a selection. You have all of your different sources, so you can change the radio source. I'm on XM right now. It has a navigation system, easy to enter in a destination. You can do it via your touch screen. I've stored some of the addresses that I go to. I found the actual dashboard and the navigation here and all these menus to be very responsive, so that was a nice, refreshing thing. So you also have dual climate controls. You have heated seats. There's a power dock. You can put your cell phone in there. There are a lot of configurations you can do there. And then also conveniently next to your hand, if you're shifting a lot, is another selector, so you can quickly go through navigation, audio, muting things, destination. And then this thing took me a little while to get used to. Even after 10 days, I haven't quite figured it out. This is automatic, an automatic electronic parking brake. So to put it on or take it off, you either pull it up, you have to have your foot on the brake. You either pull it up or you push it down, and then it'll do it. I could never remember what was putting the brake on or taking it off, but I think you pull up to turn it on, just like you would a handbrake, and then you push it down to turn it off, just like you would a regular handbrake. So on the steering column, you obviously have your cruise control, and then you have other types of controls here where you can dial through the source. On your music, you can increase, decrease the volume. It's got voice activation, which works really well. I'll show that in a second. You also have a menu here that you can work with. I think the car has to be on, so let me turn it on really quick. So I have to put my foot on and put the clutch in. There we go. So just to show you here, there's a variety of different things that you can do, see on the screen here, and you just use this little selector here to go through. So you can see my average fuel economy was 21.6 miles to the gallon. It's how many miles I can go. Odometers, my current speed. Another nice thing, if I had a destination put in, the navigation would actually show where my next turn is, how far ahead it is, along with the voice navigation telling me as I went along, and a timer. You can also change it to get vehicle information like the tire pressure, and a few other things like how much oil life I have left, that sort of thing. So lots of helpful information right at your fingertips. It does have automatic lights, which is a great thing to have. You know, window controls, that type of thing. And another really cool thing is, you can see right here, there are two buttons called GS and Sport. And this is for traction control. You can turn it on and off. So with these buttons, you can actually instantly transform your Regal GS into more of a sporty drive. So I found myself pressing the GS button, which actually changes the lighting of the speedometer and odometer and all that stuff in tachometer here. So like if I turn it off, it changes to a blue, and let's see if I can show that. And then when I turn it on, it turns it sort of white. So anyway, what that does is, and usually you would be doing this on the highway, is it would tighten up the suspension a bit, so you feel a lot more of the road, more of the bumps and that sort of thing. And the steering's a little bit tighter, and I think it does adjust the gears a little bit as well. The Sport one is a little bit less so. So I didn't really use the Sport. I used the GS one a lot, especially on the highway, and the steering was tighter. It did feel a lot jerkier, so my kids didn't really like it. My wife definitely didn't, but I really did. So in terms of the voice recognition, you can press this button here.
Ready?
Hands-free calling.
You can say call, directory, redial, store, minutes, or commands.
Minutes.
Minutes. Please say verify or add.
Cancel.
Cancel. Returning to the main menu. Ready?
Cancel.
Cancel. Thank you. Goodbye.
So you can see it's very responsive. You can do hands-free calling. You can get other information. You can interact with OnStar. Nice to have, distraction-free. It's easier doing it with a voice, and I definitely recommend it. The back seat is large and comfortable. If there are only two in the back, you can pull down this beverage holder and you can store some things in there. Otherwise, it seats a child or even an adult fairly easily. And then another nice thing is you can fold down the seats and extend it out so you have direct access to the trunk. You can put in a lot more cargo if you need to, and the other seat folds down as well. It's a very spacious, roomy trunk here. Lots of room here. I found this quite interesting. I didn't find a spare in here. I found a air pump that supposedly will pump up the flat tire for a while. I really enjoyed this car. So like I said earlier, this is definitely not your grandfather's Buick. Buick has done a really good job in terms of changing the image, the drivability, the styling, and the look and feel. Couple of little nitpicky things. I wish it had a rear view camera in the dash. It doesn't have that. Instead, it has this thing called parking assistant, so it does have like radar in the back, so it'll tell you how close you are. But honestly, you know, I would expect to have a rear view camera. But other than that, I don't really have any other complaints. The car is definitely a lot of fun to drive. It's definitely fast, and I love the styling. So there you have it, the 2012 Buick Regal GS, a 6-speed manual. That's definitely a lot of fun to drive. Nice family sedan, if you want to call it that. It'll definitely make dads happy getting out onto the open road and opening it up. If you want to read more about this, you can go to my site at www.hightechdad.com, or you can ask me on Twitter, and I'm at HighTechDad.